Down the hall here on the sixth floor of the NBC Tower, there's been lots of construction going on. It kind of looked like they're putting up the Olympic Village.
What's going on over there?
It's Mary Ann's house.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Getting set for the Mary Ann Ahern hosted election special on NBC Chicago News 24/7 live streaming channel. And did you demand certain things for that space? Did you have the Property Brothers come in and do a rehab?
It's a whole office.
Oh, man. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, my. Well, we're under construction because we're building a new newsroom on the second floor. So we had to find a space, and they took, I believe that was I worked up there during COVID.
Right.
And then it was also office space for one of the shows that were taped at NBC.
Steve Harvey.
Yes, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey's studio was up here?
That was his,
No,
the
his
workers.
producer.
Oh, that's what his office was. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's where we will be tomorrow night from 7 to 10 doing our live streaming show, because once the polls close, people want to know. They want to know what's going on.
All right, so when we say a live streaming show, there's people right now going, well, how do I get it, Herb?
What does that
Does it
mean?
come in on the toaster? How do I get it?
You get it on our website. You get it on any of those, any streaming device. So YouTube, Peacock, Roku, Amazon Fire. I mean, you name it. But if you don't know any of those, go to the NBC Chicago website. Go to Telemundo, should you be speaking Spanish and you want to see it, because we're having on both of us. Telemundo, we're one big happy company. We're going to have both of us are going to be doing it all night long.
Which is great. And the regulars on NBC will be popping in and out. And are you going to have to anchor this entire affair?
Yeah, with Marion Brooks, and Alfonso Gutierrez is doing it for Telemundo. And then we have great guests. Both, believe it or not, we've got Republicans and Democrats. Hey.
How about that? How about that?
I know. We have found some wonderful guests. People like Jim Durkin that people know, and of course was the former House Minority Leader. He is joining us. We have some, of course, like constitutional law experts. We have a couple of state reps, both Democrats and Republicans, state senator, that kind of thing. So we're going to be different guests every 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. We've got a great show planned. Yeah.
I love it. And I love the fast pace and lots of people coming in. It's a 3-hour live stream. You're the main. What's the prep today? I know you got to prep on all the people that are coming in to see you, but how do you prep, Mary Ann? Sleeping a little late, a little extra carb. What does this look like for you? Because I know it's a big day.
I know. It is a big thing. And I mean, just to have some numbers in your head and not just be talking off the cuff. I mean, there's some interesting races that we haven't necessarily zeroed in on, but we'll watch because of time constraints. We've been working on the state's attorney's race, or we've done some of the major races, the congressional races. Danny Davis is facing a challenge, Chuy Garcia versus Ray Lopez. But there are some others that we're going to watch tomorrow night. The 20th State Senate District has 4 candidates. They're spending like $4 million
wow.
in that race. It's crazy. And then Mary Flowers, state representative that Chris Welsh wants out. There's been spending about $1.5 million to try to boot her out of the state house. So, yes, there's going to be plenty to talk. And wait, I didn't even get to the judges. We have a state Supreme Court judge race. Yeah, I've got some homework.
So on top of having to do your prep, your game planning, and your prepping, the two big things in Cook County, of course, everybody's talking about are state's attorneys and the, quote, mansion tax. Mm-hmm. Do you have a sense of the folks you've talked to where the winds are blowing on either one of those?
No, I think folks, either side are thinking it's close. It's all, we say it over and over, but it is about getting your voters there. And primaries are tough. You have to declare your party. Some don't like to do that. On the mansion tax, it's at the end of the ballot. I like to vote on election day, so I haven't seen it yet. But others have told me it's at the end of the ballot. It's pretty wordy. You look at it, you go, wait, if you haven't been prepped ahead of time. And I did a story about this last week. Maria Pappas raised this. Her staff looked at referendum that have passed, because so many come to the Cook County Treasurer and say, you raised my taxes again. And she's, not me, hello. It was actually where you live that they did this. Referendum passed by like 7 out of 10. because people don't bother to vote for it. They skip it.
Right.
And so those that do vote oftentimes are there to vote for it. They're motivated. They want that new school, or they want whatever it might be on that. And it might be very well that it's needed. But by skipping it doesn't help the process. Then those who are very motivated and go and vote might, therefore, the few are getting it through rather than all who are.
That's a really important point for people to hear, that they need, for those folks who are against this, and personally I'm against this because of the damage it does to business and businesses, and the fact that the burden's going to fall back on regular folks and taxpayers because of this, and also the money's not specifically earmarked to go to the homeless. It's not specifically worded that way in the legislation. But so because of all of that, you have to get the no vote out. And what I'm hearing you say, Marianne, is the no vote isn't necessarily motivated.
Right. Or they just, I don't like that. Well, I'm not voting for that. But they don't vote no. Then you've got to say where you stand on this issue. On the Cook County State's Attorney's race, it's become, in the last, 12 hours, a complete debacle of personal attack. I understand you've already talked about it a little bit, but now there is the suggestion that Eileen O'Neill Burke was drunk at the St. Patrick's Day parade. There is absolutely no proof to that story, and yet it is.
She may have been the only one that was sober.
Yeah, she might have been, yeah.
She does not drink. Her staff tells me she doesn't drink a lot, or doesn't drink in many years. Does not drink at all. She has a sore throat. I feel like that's where I'm at. I'm talking louder. Maybe she was more dramatic in the way that she spoke. She was trying to speak over the bands that were playing behind her. And so it appeared to some that she was, there was no way. And so to promote that story with absolutely no facts is just how, where this race has gone, just how personal attacks to get through is pretty sad.
Is this, maybe I'm stretching here, but is anybody saying to you that this is an indication of some desperate reach by the Clayton Harris side, or is it just social media being social media?
I think a little bit of both, but I think it's one of those leave no stone unturned.
Even if you have to throw it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, Eileen O'Neill Burke has had the money advantage. That doesn't always mean that doesn't, but we've seen that before. She certainly has had more ads on, that kind of thing. But this race is very hard to tell where it's going to go. It is about who shows up, and it's countywide. Now, another interesting element to the story, Kim Foxx has pretty much remained silent. Didn't say, which, pretty obvious that she would support Clayton Harris, because Clayton Harris has said, yes, I would take her endorsement. Eileen has said, no, I want to turn the page. But last night on Fox's social media, she posted that she voted with her daughters, and yes, she indeed did vote for Clayton Harris.
Well, if Clayton Harris loses this race, the biggest problem he's going to have is he sounds like a Kim Foxx knockoff. Mm-hmm. In the multiple interviews we did here, he's a terrifically nice guy. And, you'd certainly pull for him in his life and all of that. But from the shoplifting commitment that he made to leave the number at this random $1,000 arbitrary figure that Kim Foxx threw in before.
Doesn't sound like a big stretch.
It sounds like Kim Foxx too. And the public doesn't want that.
Well, that's what we hear, but are we living in some kind of silo?
Possible.
Because then we'll have to see how the results go. I do think a lot of people are upset about crime and upset about the direction of the state's attorney's office. But if they don't go to vote, we're not going to see a change.
And you just said it, who shows up? Marianne, you said who shows up, and that's the most important thing. You got to get out and vote, no matter what.
Yeah.
We will be live 11 to 1 back on the air here with the double show tomorrow. So if you'd like to blow in a quick call and plug your show again, feel free to do it.
She'll be right down the hallway. She can walk over.
Yeah, come right over.
Absolutely.
So we're around.
We'll be there. I might just do that. I'm going to be over there doing a little rehearsal around noon. So
perfect.
You don't need a rehearsal. You're Ann Ahern. Thank you. Thank you. Stick around and catch Marianne tomorrow night.
Marianne. We'll be watching.
Herb, I figured out where it is. It's not on the toaster.